Welcome back. Today we're going to be distilling the George Washington Rye clone recipe. If you missed the first video where we did the mashing in, getting ready for the fermentation and all that, I'll put a link down in the show notes so that you can find it easily. Maybe put it up in a card up here. But this video, we're going to be doing the distilling. I'm going to do the blending and the tasting. So I'm going to be using the traditional 15-gallon copper still from Copper Still Co. And we're going to run this out, see how it turns out. I'm really excited about it. If you're a fan of rye whiskey, I think you're really going to love this one. And like I said, it's a clone of the George Washington Rye that you can buy at Mount Vernon. And, you know, let's give it a shot. Let's see how it turns out. Now, I'm going to use a pump to transfer this. And I'm going to make a full 15-gallon run. One of the things I like about common. So this still is a true 15-gallon still, which means it's 15 gallons up to the bottom of the cape. So you still have head space. The entire cape is head space. You got to be careful when you buy stills. You want to make sure that when it says it's a 10 or a 15 or a 20, that it is a true measurement, volume measurement of how much wash you can put in the still that you can actually run. Because sometimes the capacity rating on a still will mean, you know, the capacity, it might say it's a 20-gallon still, but it might be 20 gallons right up all the way to the top, to the cap. And that you can't put that much wash in a still and run it that way because you won't have enough head space. You'll puke the still, and that's not good. All right, everything's ready. It's heating up, propane's on, all the connections are made, good and tight. I've checked for water leaks on my reservoir system, so we're ready to go. And yeah, I'll come back when it starts running. So we ended up with almost 3 gallons worth of product, probably 2 3/4 gallons, starting at about 130, and I stopped. Well, I didn't measure this one. This one was 90, and most of the run was at 120 until I got to jar 16. And it started to drop. This last jar is when I just started to get a hint of the tails, and so I just shut it down there. So I'm going to, I'm pretty sure I'm leaving out these 4 jars of the heads and possibly a couple more. I'm going to start doing my tasting on these jars, decide what I want to keep. Then I'm going to put it all in this 3-gallon carboy, and then I'll decide how I'm going to proof it down, what I want to proof it to, and I may even age some. Now, a George Washington Rye is traditionally an unaged white whiskey, but I think I might go ahead and age some. I've got a couple of experiments I want to do. So let me get this blended and I'll come back. So I got my George Washington Rye cuts all blended, proofed it down. I decided to proof it down to an even 100. Ended up with just a bit over 2 gallons, 2 gallons plus a bit of a pint. And it really turned out very good. I will say that the end of the run on this recipe is really good. The low side of the hearts, almost, and into the tails even, really good. Some great flavor there. And then also the high end of the hearts, very good also. And, you know, this is coming from someone I'm not a big rye fan. So this, if you are a rye fan, I think you're going to love this recipe. It's the George Washington Rye clone. It's on the Still in the Clear website. I'll put a link down in the show notes. I'll put a tab up here if you missed video 1 where we made the mash, the kit that we used, the grains that we used, everything. So I'll leave all that information if you want to check it out. But this turned out really good. That is good. That is good. But it is a George Washington rye. So, you know, most people know that's a good rye whiskey. I'm also going to do some experiments with this. I've got this glass oak, mason jar oak lid from Glass Barrels. And he sent me a few of these just to do some experimentation with, to help him out, give him some tips. So I'm going to do some experimentation with this and age some of this, even though traditionally the George Washington Rye is an unaged white whiskey. I'm going to age some of it. I know it'll turn out good, and you know, we'll see how it goes. So stay tuned for that. I might do a video on these oak lids for mason jars. And hey, YouTube thinks you're going to like this video right here. If you like moonshine mash videos, different recipes, I got a playlist. I'll put it right there. So click on one of those and we'll see you on the next one.